Namaste. Good afternoon. This is a special event, special webinar that we are conducting. It is only dedicated to cost and management accountants in this country. And today, Ms. Deepika Prasad Bugara, she is a cost and management accountant. She has joined this webinar. The objective is to share with you the kind of achievements that she has done in the last 6.5 years of insolvency, how she has improved her life, capabilities, qualities. And today is not something which is for me. Today, the day is for Ms. Deepika Prasad Bugara, and she is going to share with you all experiences being a cost and management accountant, how she could join IBC, and how you all can also do whatever she has done. She will just make it possible for you, that it is possible for everyone in case she can do that. And not that she was having a very, very illustrious career before, but she was working very hard throughout her life. But this is the career turning new law, IBC, which was promulgated on 1st of December 2016. And she immediately decided to join this profession, passed the examination. Deepika ji, welcome to this webinar of AAA. Deepika ji is the senior partners of AAA Insolvency Professionals LLP, an insolvency professional entity. So Deepika ji, today is your day. You have to just share with every one of your professional colleague, how you achieved all this and how can they also do this. Deepika ji, please.
Good afternoon. Hello to all and a happy Sunday. And thank you so much, Anil sir. I mean, it's been a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you all today here. And of course, I would like to thank you all. I would like to thank Anil sir for having this session today, wherein we are going to really discuss about insolvency and bankruptcy code and how it is going to enormously change things in times to come, and how it has already changed, things in my life, in society, in the banking system, in the business, I would rather say, business mood of the country. So this is, and how we CMAs can really take a benefit out of it while following the insolvency law and while trying to either become insolvency professionals, or even if we get attached to some assignments or some actions which are related to the insolvency law, and how it is going to really impact our lives. While, having said that, impacting our lives, it is going to impact the lives of the stakeholders who have really, put their trust in the insolvency and bankruptcy code in India, which was promulgated in 2016. So I would like to just start by giving you just a little bit of brief. I don't want to take you to any bookish, discussion or anything of that sort. Let's consider this a talking session where I would like you to, just understand and listen that how it works. Now, I'll just, because some of you here who have joined maybe insolvency professionals as well as CMAs, the session is only for CMAs. And others may be the ones who may not be the insolvency professionals. And there may be some who may be knowing about insolvency, and there may be others who may not be knowing anything about insolvency. So I will just take you through this journey in a very layman's language. I will not use any technical stuff here. So to begin with, I will just, try to bring out why insolvency, why at all this law was brought in. So this law was brought in just because...
I'm sorry, like maybe that today most of these CMAs are interested about how you adopted it, how you thought about it, and how you achieved it. And presently, how much change this particular profession has made in your life. Okay. I will add like, let's not do, because everyone understands that they can do IBC, even if they are not qualified as insolvency professionals, they can still do that. We'll come to that particular later. But I just want that you should actually explain about everything about yourself. This is what they would try to understand. They also would like to understand what can be the income range of a person in case a CMA becomes an insolvency professional. And you can actually give them a range that you can earn from this to this. All depends upon efforts and also sometimes fortune. But yes, they would be more interested in learning all this from you as a role model.
Okay, I'll just restart this session based on what you just said. So I will come to it that in insolvency, well, I joined it. I cleared my exam in 2017 November. And after that, I started my first assignment by making a resolution plan, wherein I understood quite a few intricacies of the law. And then after having done a bit of about 2 resolution plans, I got into insolvency profession in a big way. And I also joined this organization, AAA Insolvency Professionals LLP, wherein I joined as a partner. And I was given an empanelment with SBI, and the SBI empanelment got me into the other banks also. Along with this, I was empaneled with all the other banks of the country. And then my first assignment came from NCLT, wherein I was given an assignment called Compact Lamps Private Limited. Now, this assignment gave a further impetus into how, the understanding of the insolvency, because it was, we all are CMAs and just beginning to enter into insolvency and then going into the details, because it's a law driven thing and completely regulated by IBBI. So there is not an iota of, non-compliance that can be acceptable. So to get into a rhythm of being completely disciplined and completely compliant in every activity that we do is one thing which has really come in. I mean, if I really go into how it works and how, you as a person has completely changed. So the first thing that happens is that you are completely in touch and on with the work that you're doing. There is nothing like, I will have some breaks or anything. Once I have a case in my hand, then I have to be completely compliant and completely into it. And once I got this assignment, then the next step was, I was my first COC. Now, the first COC is like, a committee of creditors meeting wherein you have to chair the meeting. I was the chairman of the meeting, and I chaired the meeting, bringing out all the issues which are particularly in that company. Now, this is another step that you go so deep into the every aspect of the company, which is really going to impact every stakeholder in that company. So this is another change that comes in, of course, with the support from AAA Insolvency Professionals and with Anil sir, who has already done so many cases, and right now he's into about 230 companies. And with the kind of guidance and support, I even understood that every bit of the thing that is happening in a company is important. So while I was just looking through that aspect of how every bit of it is important, as a CMA, I realized that we CMAs have a very special insight into the costing, which is going into every aspect of a company, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is HR, whether it is any department. It could be finance, it could be logistics, it could be inwards, outwards, quality, production. So while as a CMA, you're able to really enter into every department of a company. This is where it comes in handy as a CMA, that, I got into every bit of the company's workings, and I was able to bring to the table, to the COC, every detail which mattered and every detail which would actually turn around the maximization of value to the stakeholders. So that is how, that was the first impact that came in, and we all as CMAs can really achieve that. I realized that this is how I was able to really gain trustworthiness, gain trust with the committee of creditors and the bankers. And then came in new cases as we developed that trust and as we developed that competence, as we showed that competence level of handling the cases. That is how, the bankers trusted and they gave in more cases. So I got my next case, which was Parivartan Build Tech Private Limited, came from my COC. Then I got my third case, which was Cargo Planners Private Limited, which again came from the COC. And then came Kanik Electronics, and then came International Trenching Private Limited, and then came SD Aluminium Limited. So this is till International Trenching is what my COC gave me, and then SD Aluminium was allotted to me by SBI. So as I moved into this journey, I'll just share a very, a few experiences of all these cases, which have been really kind of, I would say, which generate a lot of opportunities for CMAs, and also they are kind of very challenging. And as a CMA, I've been able to really overcome them, and I've become actually, the truth is, like Anil sir just said, I have become a different person as what I started with, because as the journey continued, I became much more confident, and not just confident about the work, also about the CMA qualification that I have, which gave me the power to get into the insights and gave me the power to go into depth of every bit of information which is available with me. Just a few experiences to quote. I will come to this experience with Compact, wherein, the balance sheet. Now, this is where you can get into an insight into the workings of the companies, which can be controlled, or rather, as consultants, we can even guide them and put them on the right track. So while this, the balance sheet of the company showed an inventory of about 100 crores. As I went there, I made a personal visit to the unit, and I realized that this inventory could not be 100 crores, as the boxes, the whole, the whole factory was really full of boxes. And as we started to check them, we realized that half of the boxes or some of the boxes were empty. So then I came to a conclusion that it needs a proper inventory valuation and an inventory check. So I decided to conduct an inventory check where there was a threat. Now, there was a threat coming from the promoter as well as a threat coming from the local workers who were there, whose money had been stopped due to the promoters. So there was one way I could have just got back and decided not to go, since there was a threat. There was another way that, I made an effort and tried to get this work done, since it was a part of my job and a part of my duty, which the bankers and the stakeholders expected me to do. So I put it on record in the COC minutes and hired a bouncer. And taking that bouncer along with me, I went to the Compact Lamps Private Limited along with my team from AAA, and I went to that place in Uttarakhand, and I conducted my inventory valuation. And while that inventory valuation was being conducted, I came across a lot of things which were there in that company, which were not coming. Otherwise, the promoters and the corporate debtor, generally, they do not share all the information. So, but as I went there and personally set into finding out the truth, I realized that there were so many issues which came out due to those books which were lying here and there, which otherwise were not provided to us by the promoters. And the inventory valuation helped me find out that the inventory was only up to an extent of rupees 5 crores. So a huge amount of, the truth which was underlying this thing, and which I understand is underlying a lot of other cases in the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, just came out. So here I would also like to bring about that, while I'm talking about this, I show you that the IBC gives out an opportunity to the CMAs to do the stock audits as a part of the IBC process. Now, the moment, an insolvency professional gets an IBC case, there is the possibility of doing an inventory valuation as along with the other valuation. Of course, the valuation professionals are also required. Now, while this inventory valuation is done, the extent of siphoning and the extent of value which the promoter has probably left in the company comes out black and white. And this is where, as you bring about that truth to the table, to the COC, to the members, to the members of the COC, I think it's a huge trust building exercise that happens with the bankers, and that is how they begin to realize that on one hand, I showed a lot of courage to go there in spite of the risks involved. I showed the courage to go there and conduct this inventory valuation. And apart from that, I brought about the truth about the assets which are lying in the company's accounts. And here I would really like to appreciate the support given to me by my IPE and Mr. Anil Goyal, as they supported me thoroughly through every aspect of the work that I conducted. And then
I would like to add here a couple of things, Deepika ji, if you allow me.
Yes, sure, sir.
I think Ms. Deepika has so far convened and chaired more than 100 committee of creditors meeting or stakeholders meeting where she has been the chairperson. And as a chairperson, she has been interacting with the stakeholders, bankers. This is a great experience that you actually get the opportunity of chairing the meetings, maybe online or maybe offline. And this is where I have seen what actually gets added into your life. The communication improves a lot. The confidence is something which is very, very important in anyone's life. That's what comes when God gives you such opportunity to be chairperson for more than 100 meetings. Not only this, because like before the meeting, after the meeting, you keep interacting with the bankers, senior bankers. So this actually has now added that leadership qualities. Now, in the meeting, if you don't speak, then other members start speaking. And I have seen her that when she conducts the meeting, maybe one or two questions may come from the stakeholders. Otherwise, she conducts it, she prepares it, and that's the end of the meeting. And this is what, when she speaks, the others only listen. This has changed over the last 6 years. Now, the fear, which normally you can see in male or in female, both. I have seen people, they don't go alone to such closed factories where there is no electricity and the factories are closed since long. And those particular factories, those particular locations, she has visited alone. And that's the fear. The fear actually goes away. Now, she's managed a company which is into road and bridge making. And a live project worth about 50 crores. That is what she managed as road making or bridge making project. And she used to go to Gwalior, and she is meeting the municipal commissioner, the commissioner of the Municipal Corporation of Gwalior. And I mean, that's what is the confidence. As a contractor, as a small contractor, now she's interacting directly with the commissioner, who is a very, very senior IAS officer. So the other thing that I can see as a CMA, you would understand that in insolvency, every case is different, every day is different, every scene is different, and there is no repetition. If you get 100 cases to do, each and every case would be different. There is no repetition. So the excitement is full. You are not doing anything which is repetitive. Even for the 100 COC, more than 100 COC meetings that she might have attended, there is no duplicacy. Each meeting is different. Each meeting, attendees are different. Officials are different. Subjects are different. Problems are different. So insolvency teaches you how to handle problems and how to handle the problems calmly, quietly, peacefully. Yes, Deepika ji.
So I'll just take it from here, discussing a little about this Parivartan project, wherein I have now completed projects worth 50 crores of rupees. Now, it's like this that, again, once again, it is my this why I'm giving all this information is that an insight into how this works, so that all my members can also really take some information from here and try to rebuild, or rather seek a new direction in their lives if they connect with the insolvency and bankruptcy work in some way or the other. So as in Parivartan, as I took up, I decided to complete those projects as the subcontractors connected with me, and they were like in very bad condition since their money had been invested and they were not in a position to let go of their hard-earned money, which they had probably saved throughout their lives. So one way was, I could have let those projects go, and since the company has now come into insolvency, I could have just closed those projects. But then that would have meant that the money which was invested by these contractors, as well as the money which was invested, several crores of rupees, which was invested by the municipal corporation, could have gone bad. So I decided once again, there were two ways, either I move ahead or I let it close. So I decided to move ahead, and I decided to really ensure that the projects are completed, and the municipal corporation, that is our country's resources, are not wasted on one hand, as well as the individual contractors who've been working on the projects are also not, their money invested is also taken out. Thirdly, the bankers' confidence and the bankers' money was also saved, as I generated profits while completing those projects, and I did not charge even a rupee from the COC or from the SCC, even in liquidation, for the expenses of the company and for the expenses of the CIRP. So as I went there and met the Municipal Corporation of Gwalior and conducted a few meetings with the subcontractors in Gwalior, I realized that they are as much impacted by the insolvency as the bankers. And so as I continued those projects, I put in more subcontractors, I put in the systems to ensure that the projects were completed. And then I further put in the efforts to ensure that the municipal corporation's cooperation and was given to our contractors, as well as our cooperation. I ensured that my cooperation was completely given to those subcontractors so that the contract is fulfilled. And as the trust developed, as I delivered the results, the trust developed from the municipal corporation's office, and the commissioner promised and he ensured that the money which was generated out of completing those projects, as and when the money became due, they ensured that the money came to us and I could distribute the amount to the stakeholders, which comprised of the subcontractors as well as the bankers. So that is another, a trust-driven thing that has happened, wherein I would rather say that today sitting here, I want to, just share with you all that on this 31st of March, this last project of this company is going to be completed. And here I would like to bring about another issue, that the companies which go into liquidation are the ones where there is no hope of any revival. Now, there are a few companies wherein the asset base is very less, but the service industry is such that the companies are capable of really moving ahead with those projects or anything else. The work that they are doing is possible that they will increase that work. So since there are employees, since there are contractors, since there are stakeholders who are connected with this companies, it is a good idea to allow those companies to live rather than push them into insolvency. Insolvency, of course, they've come into insolvency. Rather, pushing them into closure instead of pushing them into dissolving. I have tried that these companies are rather resolved, even if not during the resolution process in insolvency, they are resolved in during the liquidation, as they are sold in liquidation as a going concern. So I would like to now bring about here that I've sold one company called SD Aluminium Limited, which is from Calcutta, for 103 crores, where the valuation of this company came to just about 67 crores. Now, once again, I would like to just go into the details of this company a little. This company's factories are in West Bengal, that is Calcutta. And the area which is called the 24 Paraganas in West Bengal is a rather very notorious area, which is famous for even some terrorist activities and some huge miscreants who would not allow the company to stay in good shape. So I once again decided to go and visit the company on my own. And as I went there along with a team of 4 people with me and entered the premises, it was a huge site spread over about 20 acres. And in that 20 acres, as I entered, the workers who were really unhappy and aggrieved by the actions of the promoters just came in. And before I could even realize, there were about 40, 50, 60 workers who entered the premises and they closed the doors. And as they closed the doors, the truth is I really got scared, and I actually even called my husband to say ki ab pata nahi yahan par kya hoga, and whether we'll be able to really get over this whole thing and come out of it safe, because this is a huge place and anybody can do anything because they're aggrieved and unhappy and angry workers. And then suddenly I realized that let me just come back to a humanitarian level, and I decided to discuss with them their problems. And as I started to discuss with them their problems, I began talking to those workers, and I spoke to about 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 10, 15 workers I started talking to. They realized that I meant resolution. They realized that I meant their good. And they realized that it is not that I'm here to, create trouble for them or to take away whatever is there with them. They realized that I am there to help them come out of this trouble. And within about half an hour, about 45 minutes, I saw that the workers were on my side and they were supporting me, and they agreed to show me around the site. And they took me around and showed me the entire factory and showed me how the assets are really lying over there, and which are the assets which could be good for the company and which are the assets who have lost value. And as I saw, I realized that, this could be a big trust building exercise along with the bankers also. And I came back and I met the bankers, and they were also surprised that I was able to really go through that ordeal in that factory in Calcutta, wherein which is rather, I would say, with miscreants. Sir, yes, sir.
So this is like your colleagues, CMAs are asking questions from you. Saloni Goel, she says, ma'am, tell us your whole story from when you had started the CMA course. So like when you started the CMA course, and then I think like half a minute, you can do this also. Then
Yes,
there is another question.
I cleared my CMA course in 97. And after that, I had an opportunity to work with a company called Calcom Electronics, wherein I worked for about 8 years. And there I learned the insights and the intricacies of manufacturing, and also the financing in all areas of working. That is how I was able to get into, into the depths of the working of every department of an organization. And as I came from there, then I was on my own. I was freelancing, doing projects. I also started my own business based upon my costing achievements and my costing understanding. And I was able to run this for quite a few years, after which I was, I had to take a maternity break, and I was put to bed. And then it was a break wherein I lost whatever I had done up till then. And when I came out of it, I restarted my CMA practice, and I was able to work with, in quite a few prestigious projects, where I worked with World Bank, this ease of doing business project of the World Bank, wherein I was able to interact with all the stakeholders and try to bring out on table what was the real, concerns of those stakeholders. Also, I was able to work with the hospitals. I worked with quite a few hospitals wherein I developed costing structures for them. And I even worked with the Ayushman Bharat scheme, wherein I, developed the costing structures and the costings of many, I would say, procedures and surgeries, etc., which are conducted, and how the hospital costings work, and what should be the ideal costs of, any process which is conducted in any hospital. And I even represented the Delhi Medical Association and Indian Medical Association to Ayushman Bharat, wherein I helped them develop those costing methodologies. Also, I got a chance to work with National Investigating Agency, wherein I, worked out on a few assignments where I tried to, give concrete information on the terror funding which was being put into India. There also, my report actually went to the PM's office, and it is still there. And in fact, they've been trying to contact me again for some work. whenever they have such assignments wherein they want some data to be checked out and some data to be put into, proper methodology, and they could make, the sense of that data and come to conclusions. So they call me for that. So this is where I have been working. Also, I have worked with the restructuring assignments given by quite a few companies. I have not been into the, I would rather say the only the cost audits. This is what I would like to bring to the table to all the CMAs, that cost audit is not the end of the world. It's just the beginning for CMAs. So there is a huge activity base which is across the length and breadth of the industry in our country. And now, especially with this focus on the MSMEs and this focus on revival of companies and the offshoots which are presented by the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, I would like to assure you all that once you are really determined and you enter into a system to give solutions, I'm sure things are going to change, because my life has changed upside down through all these things. While I thought when I came after a break that nothing will work out, this IBC changed the face of life. And also, as I came into this IBC, also I would like to say that a few more things which have changed is that I would like to come to this forensic audit part of the companies, wherein you go into the insights and check how the money is being misused and siphoned. This is also one aspect that I've been checking, and I've also been able to put up cases worth about 3,000 crores to all the companies, promoters and the corporate debtor, wherein the siphoning has been detected. Now, this is again, if you look at all these aspects, there is an element of national interest. I would really like to bring it here, that while I'm working with insolvency and bankruptcy, I realize that it is the country's wealth and the country's money and the country's interests that are being protected. Also, if I go back and check, while I was working with those hospitals, many places you would have seen that there have been instances where the news clippings show that too much of money was charged by hospitals from their patients. So as I worked there and I put up those costing structures in places, it is once again in national interest and the interest of the people at large, that you understand that how those costings work and how precisely the customers should be charged, and they should not be blackmailed on just because they are in a poor condition at that point in time, because they are suffering from some diseases or something. So that is also going in national interest. Even the NIA assignment goes in national interest, and the ease of doing business, whose the ratings have gone up massively, even that is participation into something like that is once again into the national interest. So once you align your goals with the larger goals, be it the country, be it our profession, which is CMA, which I deeply feel that we all must come together and really make our marks in the industry sector, in the government sector, in whichever sector we are, whether it is education or whether it is any sector where we enter. The only thing that we need to do is we need to really have a trust in ourselves and go deep into our education, not just going by just a few assignments which are generally shown by a few people. There are huge number of assignments that are waiting to be taken by CMAs. Only thing we need to do is really try hard and go deep into our own education, go deep into our study that we have conducted, and then try to see how we can utilize it and how we can really enter into various segments of our country. One thing again I would like to bring about here is that while we are in insolvency, I would like to say that even before the companies go into insolvency, they are under stress. Now, if we can really work out strategies and help our clients and try to get networking done and try to meet our clients in whether they are MSMEs or big companies, and even before they can, they enter into this debt trap, and even before they enter into a trap wherein, it takes them to insolvency, we can help them come out of it. So this is where, I would suggest that we all should make an effort and go and try to get such assignments where we prevent insolvency. Even that is, one law which again under insolvency which has been promulgated is PIRP, which is pre-packaged insolvency resolution process for the MSMEs, which is rather, this is wherein, the promoters and the MSME owners get an opportunity to revive their companies, maybe in the form of dilution of their shareholdings, or maybe in the form of, making some kind of an effort or turning around something. So as professionals, we have to guide them and help them turn around their companies. So this is also one aspect wherein we have an opportunity. Maybe Anil sir wants to say something.
I just wanted to say that this Saloni Goel, she had asked about your journey. I can only add that Miss Deepika did not have any family support, in the sense that none of their family member is CMA, none of their family member is an advocate or a chartered accountant. So she is a completely self-made career woman, and it is all that she has learned herself. So there is one more question which I would like to answer, and that's like from Amarnath Maurya. And he said that I am CMA, 48-year-old. If I do IBC course and complete it, is there enough opportunities in the market, and what is the duration of the course? So he's a CMA, and we believe that he's already completed 10 years of being CMA, and being CMA, having professional qualification, whether he's in practice or he's in job, after 10 years, he will have to pass this limited insolvency examination. And after passing this examination, then he will have to undergo a 50 hours training, only 50 hours training, and then he will be enrolled and empaneled as insolvency professional. So what I'm trying to say, that once you become an insolvency professional, so first of all, there is no need that you should leave your existing job or existing profession. It's a part-time study and part-time examination. The day you would decide to become an insolvency professional, you can do two things. Either you can leave the job and you can plunge yourself wholeheartedly in the insolvency profession, or you can shift your job into a consultancy kind of arrangement, and then you can also become insolvency professional. Update your knowledge, keep understanding the resolution plans, keep understanding this forensic audit under the insolvency law. So it is not really important that we should get the insolvency cases. We can, as Deepika ji said, that she started with preparing resolution plans. You can also prepare resolution plan. In case you are working with a company, in that company, there must be some issues regarding the insolvency. You can even start up, you can start taking up. Your market value goes very high in case you have knowledge of insolvency. What does it take? It takes nothing. It takes only about 6 months study and one examination, and then that's it. There's nothing like it is not at all expensive. Not much of expenditures are involved. It's petty expenses which are involved. So the opportunities are enough, and I would suggest that it is not really important that we should become a resolution professional or we should become liquidator. You can always become a support service provider. You can always understand the law, and you can start appearing, representing before NCLT, NCLAT, DRT. You can also kind of do this claim verification part of it, and couple of members taken together, you can also form your IPE. I understand that most of the CMAs are shining in public sector undertakings. If you go and take a role of most of the directors in the public sector undertaking, you will find that there are lot many CMAs who are actually shining in the Indian public sector undertakings, maybe as a general manager finance, deputy general manager finance, CFO, and finally director. So these are various shining CMAs, and the only thing that you actually will get when you come to IBC is the leadership qualities, improvement in your communication, improvement in your English, and this actually will change the entire life. So then Deepika ji, Mr. Gaurav Joshi says, it's a comment only, it's not a question. It is really inspiring success story while dealing with issues with a pragmatic approach. I think these kind of comments, when it comes, it actually makes our day. A person who is working hard, actually, for them also, it's very, very important. So one BS Manjula want to ask a question, and the hand is raised. I think I just want to give the chance and allow maybe we, in case B.S. Manjula can ask the question, please.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Good evening, sir. I am CMA Manjula BS. I have also passed IBC 2017 and have got registered in November 2017. I have handled 5 assignments of all types, say ARP, liquidation and all. Now my question to madam is, have you at any time as a CMA checked inventory valuation of the companies which are in CIRP process? Because inventory is the area where they are going to manipulate, especially when they are in CIRP process or when they fail in their business operations. And have you at any time checked the cost audit report if it was applicable to the company? Because I have not come across any cost audit report in my assignments. So have you checked any CMA areas, costing areas for the companies which have come to your, which you have handled?
See, as far as this cost audit is concerned, that I will answer. Rest all is for you, Deepika ji. In our company called Varsana Ispat Limited, it's a steel company, and as per the government notification, the steel companies having a capacity more than a particular limit are required to have the cost audit done every year. So we, as a RP, as a liquidator, we appointed the cost auditor, and we obtained the audit report also while this company was going a going concern. So that's the I could only remember that one where we actually had obtained a cost audit report from a practicing cost auditor. Yes, Deepika ji, rest of the questions are for you.
I would like to hear, say, I mean, I'd rather say Varsana, where it's a good company, it's a running concern. That is why, this cost audit report could be made available. But as far as I have seen the companies, they are not even willing to give us, the superficial inventory valuation. What they give is a completely, manufactured data. I would rather use the word manufactured data. So cost audit report is something probably I have not been able to get my hands on, because the promoters are generally hiding, where it is shown in the books that the inventory is about 100 crores and actually it comes out to be 5 crores. In such cases, it is very difficult to get your hands on the cost audit report and the inventory valuation. And in most of the cases, I have seen that the inventory is the most manipulated, as you rightly said, Ms. Manjula, that inventory is the most manipulated area, wherein the most of the genuine inventory has been siphoned. It has been removed from the factory, and now what is left is rather, I would say, which is looking to be good, but then valuable. It is not valuable. So I'm sorry to say this, but this cost audit report is generally not made available. Even the books of accounts are not made available. I'm not sure if some working companies I have not come across any such, case. Excuse me, maybe Anil ji can give a better, maybe a
then
deeper
how do we go about inventory valuation? Forget about cost audit report. How do we go about inventory valuation when the financial auditors say the stocks have not been, the inventory has not been verified by us? Physical verification has not been conducted. How do we go about it in such cases? Because I have come across one of my CRP case which went to liquidation. I don't want to name the company. How do we go about it? Can we accept that as a CMA, or there is no inventory? The financial auditors have made a comment that the physical verification has not been conducted. How do we trust such audit reports?
That's not our job in the insolvency law. When we are appointed as IRP or RP, our first job is to understand the liabilities of the company based on the claims and also based on the books of account in case available. So in case the books of accounts are not provided to us, then based on the claims and also based on the information available on the public domains like GST portal or income tax portal or even the litigations that we can see nowadays. These are the public domain information. So that's what is the liability side. On the asset side, it is all in case the books of accounts are available, that's good enough. In case the books are not available, then we actually have to appoint our valuers. the valuers will go and they will take physical verification of each and every item, including stocks. Our people, the representatives of the RP should also go along with the valuers. The inventory should be complete and the valuation would be done by the valuer. So I don't think this is a very big stress, because see, the stakeholders are not expecting anything to do from you that you would do wonders. Like if a promoter is not cooperating with us, that promoter was also not cooperating with the lenders. So they know that the promoter is not cooperating. So it is not a stress that the information is not being given by the promoter. You are also, you have to file an application under section 19 subsection 2 of IBC, and it is NCLT's job to direct the promoters to provide information to us. So that should not be a very big stress. We will work as per the information available. So
Then
there is a question from Mr. Ashok Jha. Should I think Mr. Ashok Jha, if you can also ask your question.
Yes, sir. Actually, what happens, there is a tax assessment of GST and income tax along with TDS for earlier period, which is done in CIRP period, an amount ranging from very high amount, because generally they make the assessment on higher amounts, higher side only. So what will happen to that? Their claim is not filed. So finally, in the this resolution plan, what happens to that amount? Will it become zero, or we have to pay, or because they have not filed the claim also on time? Because
No,
assessment was done later.
See, like first of all, presently we have a rainbow paper judgment from Supreme.
Yes, sir.
The rainbow paper judgment from the Supreme Court that has been interpreted by NCLT benches in a manner that the income tax department is not even required to file their claims, because the information about that liability is available on the public portal. So in case the liability is available on the public portal, the liability is available in the books of account, the liability may be known from the chartered accountant of the company who is handling the income tax cases, then why the IRP or the RP has not taken that particular liability in the information memorandum?
But assessment was done later.
One thing is
after.
No, I think one thing is very clear, that the claim cannot be accepted unless it is filed.
Okay, sir.
But then if the claims are not filed, but the information memorandum is something that is supposed to be made by the RP. In the information memorandum, the liabilities has to be shown, so that the resolution applicant should provide for this liability in the resolution plan.
Yes, sir.
I'm not saying that you should admit the claim. I'm saying that you provide this information in the information memorandum. But now I think when we talk about this in judgment of rainbow papers, one,
yes,
that the Ministry of Corporate Affairs has given in domain information on 18th of January 2023, where they are saying that they will make appropriate amendment, and they will say that there is no lien on the assets of the company whenever there is a demand from the income tax department. The lien,
or even GST or VAT.
GST is already there. GST says that there is no GST is very clear, because the GST law is very clear. In GST law, it is written that the GST department will have a lien on the properties of the assessee. However, in case the company is under insolvency, then the GST law will not have, GST department will not have the lien. So GST is very clear. However, what we are talking about is the state taxes like VAT and the sales taxes, the earlier law before 2017, and also we are talking about the income tax. So these things, like the government is trying to amend the law, but till the time it is not amended, it is the duty of the RP to understand the liability and to mention it in the information memorandum. The resolution applicant will consider this as secured operational creditor, and accordingly will provide for the tax department.
Even if, Anil sir, the assessment is passed after the expiry of claim date or memorandum has been submitted to NCLT, even then,
if the assessment is if the assessment pertains to a period which is prior to commencement of CIRP, then all these are supposed to be handled by the resolution plan. If the information comes to the RP before the resolution plans are finalized, then it is the duty of the RP to provide that information to resolution applicant, so that this is provided in the resolution plan by the resolution applicant.
And if assessment comes after resolution plan, sir?
If the assessment comes after the resolution plan, then the NCLT will direct, then you are not supposed to do anything.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
We have a question, Deepika ji, for you from Mr. Anil Gupta.
Hello.
Yes.
please.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. I'm the new qualified cost accountant, having experience in.
I'm sorry. Please unmute yourself again. Please unmute, Mr. Gupta.
Yeah, I am audible, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, sir. I am a recently qualified cost accountant. Wanted to explore opportunity in the IBC. So, just want what are the area and in which field we have to grab to means to say to grow in this field of IBC. So, can you briefly explain some 3 points area where we can transfer from our job to practicing in this area? Currently, when I qualify.
Just follow Deepika ji, and Deepika ji will tell also in this particular platform, because there are many people, they are connected with us today, and we are very happy that in amongst CMAs there is so much of will to learn further. Deepika ji, please answer this question of Mr. Anil Gupta. And
sir, actually, I want to eager. I just want to eager in this field right now. What can I say, sir? When I qualify the exam, I also search for these insolvency firms. So just want to grab this new opportunity, because in my opinion, in my personal opinion, I just want to say that in future the scope is very big for the new professionals. So I just want to later highlight on these points.
yes,
So I would really like to, it's very nice and that you have shown such eagerness for this insolvency and bankruptcy area of work. See, it's very important, since you're just starting the things, it's very important to get into, get an insight into every area of work. I see as costing professionals, we get an opportunity to go into every area of the company. So that once, you have, if you get into insolvency, it is not just the tax, it is not just the balance sheet, it is not just, the compliances, it is an entire company which is coming into your hands for, revival or for maximization of gains to all the stakeholders. So it is very important to get an understanding into the commercial working of the company. That is one. And then the key areas which makes that particular industry or that particular industry successful. And what are those key areas which are even becoming the causes for, the going down or rather collapsing of those companies. Another area which I feel is the working capital management, because I see that most of the companies which are coming into insolvency are the ones where the working capital management has been slipped and slipped badly. Because, many a times what is happening is that the money which was probably taken for working capital is put into the capital expenditure. And then the working capital, the moment the working capital is lost and the cycle of the business is disrupted, the companies are not able to manage. So as a consultant, or rather as a professional, I feel it is our responsibility to guide our clients, whether we are working with them full time or whether we are having them as, on a retainership. So it is very important for us to guide them that the working capital should be managed in a very, precise manner. And that is what is going to prevent this condition of insolvency also. Further, I would like to suggest that we go into the understanding of the major assets that form of a company. If we go into an understanding of the major assets, we will understand where the value lies. Because as an insolvency professional, I look at it if I look at the goal is maximization of value. So first of all, I need to understand where the value is. So as professionals, we are into many industries, I would rather say, but to understand each industry and the intricacies of how it works and how the working capital works or how the asset base is working will help us into, by the time you are ready to be an insolvency professional, you will have your, hands strongly on that. Also, another aspect which I would like to suggest is the legal aspect, which we as CMAs generally miss out. The legal aspect is very important because at the end of the day, the whole insolvency law is about this law. And then there are many cases which are put on to the company and we have to handle them, or myself as an insolvency professional, I have to file cases against either the promoters or anything which is coming to disrupt the resolution of the company or the maximization of value to the company. So to understand the legalities, this is what I'm going to say.
So should we simultaneously do the LLB examination also for the remaining, or we only study the main parts of that provisions in the law?
So what I understand is that as far as this study of law is concerned, that's a very, very vast study. The people who qualify as LLB or even LLM, when they come to us, we normally see that they have the information, they have the practice of drafting, they have the practice of how to understand the code structures of India. But as far as the insolvency law provisions are concerned, they learn when they come to insolvency side. Therefore, you would see that the lawyers are specializing. Somebody is practicing in the property matters, somebody is practicing in marriage matters, somebody is practicing in corporate matters, somebody is in company law, somebody is in income tax. So each law needs a specialization. So by just doing law graduation or post-graduation, it is not really helping the knowledge of IBC. Like when we hire our when we hire our lawyers, the lawyer's job is to argue. But as far as the feedback is concerned, briefing is concerned, that is mostly given by me and Deepika ji about our own cases. We know the facts and we know the insolvency law. We know the regulations. We know the updated case laws. So what is required, that's what I already said. I don't think for becoming a successful insolvency professional, for a successful resolution professional, for a successful liquidator, I don't think the degree of law is required. See, Deepika, there is another question from Saloni Goel. Is there any direct entry for CMAs to become insolvency professional? I mean, quickly, we have to take up the questions quickly because already we have spent 1 hour. So there is no direct entry. The entry is same for everyone. For a chartered accountant, for an advocate, for a company secretary, and for a CMA, the entry is direct. Like in case you have 10 years experience, post-qualification, maybe in job, maybe in practice, then you can pass an examination called the limited insolvency examination. But in case you don't have the experience of 10 years, then there is a graduate insolvency program, which is presently run by one at Bhopal National Law University, and the second is at Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs. And their total course is for about 24 months, which includes internship of about 9 months, and maybe internship of 1 year. So that course, in case you do, then immediately after that course, you can actually enroll yourself as the insolvency professional with Insolvency Professional Agency and then IBPI. So there is another question from Mr. Manmohan Jindal. It says, guide about the study pattern. This you can guide, Deepika ji.
Now, as far as the study pattern to clear the examination is concerned, I would rather suggest that we have to, as per the syllabus, the most important is the law, which is the IBC code, which is easily available in the market. You can buy one of those IBC code books and then go through it in details. Apart from that, quite a few important aspects are from the company law and understanding of the other more relevant laws, including the Surface Act and just a few more acts which we need to understand and we need to study. Of course, it is going to take about 3 to 4 months of good study to be able to get prepared for the exam. This is what I understand. And then once, and also not to get disheartened if you lose in the first go. It may not be, maybe sometimes it is also okay that we understand the examination pattern and the way the exam is conducted and how we manage our time to, get the answers right while giving the examination, not to get disheartened if we lose in the first go. So once if we make up our mind and decide, we must consistently try, and there is no way that we will not be able to clear it. So once that is done, and this whole thing can be done along with whatever job, whatever practice you are into, along with whatever you are doing, you can continue to do the study of this exam. Maybe sir would like to add anything to it?
I believe this is what the study pattern is concerned. I think 60% marks will come from, I'm not very much updated. Still, I feel that the 60% marks will come from the insolvency law, primarily the IBC Act, the code and the regulations and the case laws and the case studies. Presently, the case studies are more important because that actually provides the understanding of a particular person. Then there are surface law, then there are business laws, company law. So all these are having some small portion in the mark system. So I believe that's a study pattern. And as far as this opportunities for the new professionals are concerned, what I would say, entering into a profession, in this profession, entry is very simple. Once you are entered, once you are a qualified insolvency professional, it doesn't disturb your existing career. What it only takes is a little bit of hard work in studying for about 6 months' time and passing an examination. It doesn't actually, you are not required to leave your job or leave your existing profession. So that is what I wanted to motivate all of you, that there is hardly any difficulty in completion of it. So I think, Deepika ji, you can just see there is no other hand raise also, and there is no other question. I have taken all the questions, and the way you want to conclude it, you can conclude it.
I'm really thankful to all of you to join in here today and for this discussion on insolvency and bankruptcy code and how CMAs can make a difference to it. All I would like to say is that we CMAs have a huge knowledge base, and if you've really worked a few years, I'm sure a lot of experience into many areas of a company and a complete understanding of how any industry works. Let's put it to our best use and also really try and not give up on any, hindrances which are put up. So let's try and really, come up and be the ideal CMAs that we should be. And I thank you all for being here today. Maybe sir would like to say something.
Thanks all the participants, and it is really our pleasure to see all of you in big number. And in case you have any question, and in case you have any specific question, you can contact directly Deepika ji. And Deepika ji, you can actually see, like anyone, I think your number would be available on the public portal of CMA. So they can approach you for any question regarding CMA and the possibilities of any opportunity, so that you can direct it up.
Also, I can put my number here on the chat. In case someone would like to call me. So I'm sure everyone can look at the number. So in case someone would like
the number is, before we close this session, the number is 97179 98112. That's there on the chat box also. So great. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. So we conclude this session today.